And a debate has erupted about the involvement of CSs in politics, with Environment CS Keriako Tobiko actually being quoted as calling the Deputy President a clerk of the President. Now, two things here to you, Secretary. First of all, should a CS call a Deputy President a clerk? What does that mean for the office of the Deputy President? And is there anything that Jubilee will do to address that?
Well, that's so interesting, and so is such an interesting matter. You know, I've had the Deputy President himself call himself "Mi ndio mtu wa mkono wa huyu rais." So when Tobiko calls him a clerk, and the Deputy President himself says "Yeye ni mtu wa mkono," what's the issue here? Semantics. You
don't think it demeans the office, and I'm being very specific here, the office of the Deputy President, a constitutional office?
And I'm being very, very clear on this. I'm being very clear on this. The Deputy President himself, several times publicly, talking in the presence of the President, he says, "Mi ndio mtu wa mkono wa huyu President. Yeye ni mtu wa mkono." He says that. So when Tobiko says he's a clerk, and Tobiko himself also says he's also a clerk, even myself, very often when I represent I've been sent by the President somewhere, I say, "Mimi nimetumwa. Mimi ni mtumishi." I think this kind of language is a reflection of a certain amount of humility, and we should not put it out of context, really. I think we should be discussing more important things, especially on your very expensive airtime.
Okay, that's an interesting point you brought up. Nevertheless, the Deputy President's supporters have not seen it the way you see it. They don't like the tone. They are concerned about the meaning behind that. And words have meanings depending on how they are said as well. Again, you say, in your view, it was not demeaning. It did not demean, bring down the office of the Deputy President, a constitutional office.
Let me tell you also something. You know, if you're respected, you are respected. You don't force people to respect you. And the office of the Deputy President, he is the Deputy President. He doesn't have to stand up and tell people, "I'm the Deputy President." He is the Deputy President. If you're a minister, you are the minister. You don't have to tell people, "I am the minister." They know you are the minister. Even if you call yourself a clerk, you can call yourself a clerk, a sweeper, whatever the case may be. But you are the minister. Why should we spend so much time on this?
Why should we spend so much time? I think one of the reasons is that it has come on the back of juniors, quote unquote, of the Deputy President, people who are not at the caliber of Deputy Party Leader, demeaning him. And I believe the Deputy President and his followers have had issues with that. But one would also ask them tonight, do you have any concerns about cabinet secretaries who are involved in politics or attending functions that eventually turn to be political against the wishes of the party leader?
I think it's a very important point you raise. If you look at the Constitution, the Constitution stops, all civil servants and public officers from being engaged in politics except cabinet secretaries. Because cabinet secretaries are political appointees, and their job is to expound on, public positions on behalf of the President. So they are exempted. If you look, there's a chapter which specifically says they are exempted from that provision. Check it up.
Okay.
And let anybody contradict me.
So what we saw in Kajiado, in your view, when we saw 3 CSs there, for all purposes, that looked like a political function.
The CSs are the only public officials who are exempted by the Constitution and law to participate in politics.